So the other day, Eric and I decided to go to an auction in Seymour, Connecticut. Eric had asked me to go and I had sort of waffled about it, and then I kind of declined going, and I was all over the place because I had so much work to do. Seymour is a good 45 minutes or so away, and of course, as we know, auctions can go on for a long time. And sometimes the outcome of an auction can be disappointing, and there's nothing worse than spending a lot of time just waiting for your items to come up and then coming home empty-handed. And we've been on a bad streak with auctions, so I was really iffy on it, but there were two things that Eric really wanted at this particular auction, and so ultimately I agreed to go with him, and I'm so glad I did. So let me show you what he got. Here we are. It's not everyone who can have a stormtrooper and Darth Vader and a naughty kitty in their kitchen all at the same time. Yes, folks, these are very impressive colonial era, early Connecticut antiques, as you can see, from one of the fine mansions of our industrial leaders in shipbuilding. So these are about circa 1720, I would say. Very rare, very coveted. We're so happy to have them in our world. Here's my head next to Darth Vader, so you have a size comparison. You can see he's quite large. Sorry for the backlighting, but that's what we've got. And here I am near a stormtrooper. If you are a viewer of Star Wars, you'll know you really should not get so close to either Darth Vader or a stormtrooper. But today is an exception. These are our auction finds from last night. We went to an auction in Seymour. We bid on these things. We won these things. They will be going to our barn. And I have to say, probably the best part of the whole thing was watching everyone's reactions as they walked by our chairs and had to pass these stormtroopers and Darth Vader figure. We got a lot of laughs, and we enjoyed that. While we were there, I ended up bidding on a few things that went low enough that I thought I would take a chance on them. So I'll show you these two great vases. Oh my goodness, are they heavy? They have kind of a mid-century modern look about them. They're nice and big. So this is made by Denby, made in England. It's so big. And the paint on this is really, really lovely. It's just a nice chunky guy, and it came in a lot with this smaller companion vase that I think is also really lovely. Here is the back stamp. The back stamp looks the same on both pieces, of course. So let me hold them both up together. Here they are. Nice big statement pieces. I thought they were fabulous, and again, the price was too good to just let them go, so I picked them up. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. The big vase I think is too big to ship on eBay. I think I could probably ship the smaller one. So I'm still kind of thinking through all of that, but as always, if anybody watching this video is interested and can do local pickup, or I guess doesn't mind paying a high shipping price, I would have to charge a lot for that big vase because it will need to be super wrapped and super protected from the mail system. So if anybody's interested, just let me know. Then I picked up another piece. Let me show you that. It's in the library. I picked up this very pretty Roseville vase. I think this is gorgeous. It's a beautiful color. It's not the color I typically collect. I typically collect the blue. Here is a piece of my blue Roseville, but I really loved this, and the price was so low I could not let it get away. I think I ended up paying $20 for this, which isn't so low actually now that I say it out loud, but I just wasn't gonna let it go. I might have even paid $15. I don't remember exactly. I'm so bad about remembering the price I paid for things. I have to get in the habit of writing it down, but I thought this was beautiful. So I have this on my bookshelf for right now. I don't know that it's gonna stay there, but I'm enjoying looking at it for now. Even though the colors aren't an exact match with my room, I still think it's a beautiful piece, and I'm glad I found it. Let me give you a look at the inside. You can see it's in nice condition. Something about Roseville that just always appeals to me, and this piece is no exception. In addition, I ended up winning 2 pretty good sized lots of copper pieces. So I have them all over my table. I think I'll hold up a few and then I'll show you a few on the table. But I really like this piece a lot. It's got a little paint or something. What is that? Nope, it's paper, not paint. So this comes right off. This is really interesting. It's got a lot of etched detail in it, which is very pretty. It looks like it was perhaps made in India. And if somebody wanted to shine this up, they certainly could with some brasso, or if you prefer the patina just as it is, that's good too. I think I would be inclined to leave this piece as it is, but this would be awesome as a planter of some kind, or you could even use it for like a really big full flower arrangement kind of thing. I thought this was really, really pretty. It reminds me a lot of the compote or urn or whatever the heck it is that I have on my humidor that has dried hydrangeas in it that I have absolutely loved. So I thought that was a nice little find, along with this cutie pie. So a little coal scuttle with the Delft handle and the lion's head accents on the corners. This piece has no back stamp, at least I'm not seeing one. But it's really cute. It's very, aged inside, but it has a really pretty look. I've sold one of these before. This one seems actually even a little older than the last one I sold. So I'm pretty sure this one's gonna be going on my eBay store. Another piece, these all really need to be washed really well. There is a back stamp on this, made in, I can't read it. Anyway, it's a brass strainer, copper strainer with little brass toned handles. There's the inside. Really pretty piece. This would probably look nice actually with my own copper collection, but I'm trying so hard not to keep things. I feel like I'm drowning in stuff half the time and it's getting old. I found this interesting piece. So this is a mold of some kind. It's got more copper tone on the inside than the outside. So I don't know if that's just because it wore away, but it also has a little hanger. So you could just hang this up decoratively, even if you didn't ultimately want to use it. And I think that's a really nice feature. This big metal piece was in the pile. So this wasn't one of the things I was actually after, but it has an interesting look. You can see there's etching in this. It's got kind of a nice sunburst quality. Here is the back. It says Egypt on the back, so I guess it was made in Egypt. It's very interesting. It wants a good bath, so this will get washed, but I thought it had kind of a neat quality. Okay, and then I think for the rest, I think before I do that, I'll show you this little guy. This is a cute little piece. I like that it hangs. It's got a nice handle. There's the inside. You can see these are all used. These are all very weathered, but I think copper looks beautiful that way. This piece was made in Holland. So this is a nice piece and will probably go on my eBay store. And then I'll show you this one and then we'll go on the table. So this is, I don't know, what is this for? Is this for biscuits? Making biscuits maybe? I should probably know that, but I don't. It has very pretty handles. You see the handles? And this, let's see if it has any kind of mark on it. No, I'm not seeing one, but it's possible that I'm just not being observant. Anyway, really pretty piece. So I was glad to find that. And now let's go to the table. By the way, just when I thought we were out of the woods with Indy's face, I caught him scratching at it last night. I'm hoping that is just a fluke, or maybe the scab on it was feeling like tight and itchy, but I'm really hoping we're not going back down that road again because I thought we were over it. So hopefully that was just an anomaly. Okay, I love this little copper mold with the crab in it. Somebody mentioned this might be part of a bigger horoscope collection. I don't know if that's true. I have no proof that that's true, but I like the handles a lot. I think this guy has a great look. There's the inside. This one's awesome because this one is a rooster. I really like this one a lot. Isn't that so interesting? And I like the handles, same as with the crab. Here is the inside, in case you're curious. And then we have just more of a generic kind of copper toned bowl or dish or whatever the heck this is. It's got a hammered effect, as you can see. And here we have another strainer. This one's got a bit of wear on it. I don't know if that will clean up or not. Eric would probably know. You can see all of this. What is this, oxidation? Yeah, that might just be plain old damage. So we'll see if that's sellable or not. Again, this was all part of a big lot, so I didn't really get to pick the individual pieces. There were just enough interesting pieces in the lot that I felt like I could pop on it, and I didn't spend much for it. See, this could be like, these fish could be Pisces maybe. So again, could this be part of a horoscope collection, or is that just me trying to make a story where there is no story? So interesting. I don't know why copper appeals to me so very much, but it certainly does. Here is a little mold. That's the inside. And it looks like maybe this guy had copper and the copper has vanished because there's copper inside. I guess you could still hang it and just show the copper on the inside if you wanted to. And here's another pan with a lot of damage. It's got a wooden handle, which is interesting, and you can hang it. It's got some nice details on the handle, actually. Here's the back of it. And I'm sorry I keep clearing my throat. That never happens to me except when I film a video and then I become a throat clearing maniac. Happens every time. So there was that. So if I'm totally honest with you, what I was really after in this lot, there were two lots of copper pieces. I really loved the rooster, the crab, and the fish. So that was what I was looking for there. And in the other lot, I really wanted this hanging pot. I really liked the strainer. I loved this etched piece. And of course, the little copper scuttle with the lions and the Delft handle. I also do like this, what I'm calling a biscuit pan, but who the heck knows? And there's Wilson. He wants to get by, but he can't because I am blocking his alleyway. Oh, he hates it when I do that. It's not easy being Wilson. Here is my kitchen Christmas tree in its box. I'm going to put it right here where a chair usually goes. And it's a nice skinny tree, so it should look really good in that space. Here it is. It's all set up. It just popped together in 3 pieces. It's a pre-lit tree. I generally don't like pre-lit trees, but for this little small tree, I think it works just fine. And it still needs a little bit of fluffing, but you can see it fits in this tiny space quite well. I just put the base on, so very simple, just a nice basket weave kind of pattern. I think that goes with the kitchen theme. And here are some of the things I plan to put on the tree, primarily these cookie cutters. I used these last year as well. I have quite a few of them here in bags. And I have some yarn attached, and then I will also wire them so that the cats can't knock them down. But you can see how pretty that looks. Simple but effective. Okay, here comes another ornament. So I'm just gonna put a few of these on with you. I'll do the rest on my own, but I wanna give you the effect of getting this tree started. This gingerbread man is so cute. Again, I am wire tying every single ornament on so if the cats smack things, they don't go flying off. This one might be my favorite. This little Scotty dog with the red wooden handle. So cute. I think he's getting a prominent position right in the center. Let me turn him around so we can see the red handle. There he is. Okay, so I have lots of cookie cutters on this tree, but that isn't the only thing that's going to go on this tree. It definitely gets it started and gives it some structure. I also have this little mixing bowl ornament, seems appropriate with the kitchen tree. And I have a few other fun ones on the table, like this spoon that was painted with a bunny in the snow. That was my mother's. And a couple of these other little ornaments that I think just match well with the kitchen theme I'm going for. Here's some dried fruit I had from last year. I'm giving this some thought because the color doesn't seem quite right, but it's here if I need it. Now bringing in some faux berries for color. Let's pop those in. And I've got some pine cones and some other things. This is all stuff I pulled off of old wreaths in the past and I kept in a stash so I can use them to redecorate with in various ways year after year. It's worked out really well. I've gotten a lot of leverage out of these things. And you'll see soon that it does add some nice color into the tree and gives it a really natural look that I think is so fun for the kitchen. I don't take a lot of care with these. I don't wire these in. I just try to pop them in as securely as I can. I really like the way the kitchen tree has turned out, but I definitely want to add some citrus slices to this tree. Now, I had made some last year and I had hoped that they would be usable this year, but let me show you how they look. So you can see these are certainly usable, but they have really lost their vibrant colors. They've just got a kind of blackish look, and it's fine to use, but not the look I'm going for. So I think I'm gonna make some new ones this year. I'm gonna show you how I do it in case you feel like doing it yourself, or in case you're just interested in how it's done in general. I've just set my oven to 200. There's a lot of conflicting information about what temperature setting is best if you're gonna dehydrate orange slices in an oven. A lot of times people do this in a dehydrator, but I don't happen to have one, so an oven it is. Oh boy. Oh. So you can see I have a selection of orange and lemons here. I thought I had also bought limes, but I can't seem to find them anywhere. So I'm just gonna make the best of what I have here. Some people also use apple slices, but I don't love the way they come out and look on the tree. So I'm just gonna cut these into slices. Then I'm gonna put them on this baking sheet that has parchment paper on it. I know my cat just jumped on this, but it doesn't matter because I'm not eating this. If I were eating this, I would start all over again because I think you can't be too careful about germs and things around animals. So I am just going to start cutting this. Whoops. I like to leave the seeds in. Some people like to take the seeds out, but I have found from experience it's helpful not to make these too thin. You want them to be a little bit robust so they hold together for you and you can put the wire through them when you're ready. So this is an example of a slice I'm not going to keep because the peel is disturbed. I don't like the way that looks. I also don't like to use the end piece because I don't think that looks nice either. Just personal preference. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And of course, I need to mention this would go a lot smoother if you had a mandolin and you could just set it to the correct thickness. Again, I don't have a mandolin, so I'm just making it work. So here they are, and again, I really wish I had the limes because the green peel would be a nice addition, but we had a little bit of snow this morning and last night, and I really dislike driving in the snow, so I'm not gonna pop back out to the store to get the limes. I'm just gonna use what I have. And bear in mind, I have a very skinny little pencil tree in the kitchen, as I just showed you. If you wanted to really fill up a more typical size Christmas tree, you would probably want more than this to dry. So for me, this works. You have to decide what works for you based on how much you think you're gonna need. But I think this is nice. And you know, I'll tell you, I forgot how much it hurts when you have a paper cut and you get a little citrus juice in there. Ouch! These are going to bake at that low temperature from anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip them every hour and just kind of monitor how they're doing, and I will see how long they seem to need. I definitely don't want them to be super juicy because that will get messy on the tree. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but the point of this is to dry them. So we want them to have ample time in the oven for that to happen. These have been in the oven for about 3 hours now, so you can see that they're starting to dry out, but there's still quite a bit of liquid in them. So I'm gonna give this, I would think this is at least another 2 hours before we get to where we want to be, possibly longer. We'll see, but definitely progress. I did a bit of research and learned that the tradition of using dried fruit to decorate Christmas trees dates back to the 1600s in Germany and possibly started even earlier. Apparently, it was a common practice until glass ornaments became popular in the mid-1800s. It was also traditional to place oranges in Christmas stockings. This is believed to be connected to the legend of St. Nicholas, who secretly left bags of gold in stockings, the orange symbolically representing this gift. Back in the day, oranges were a real treat for New Englanders in December because they had to be imported from warmer states like Florida. As a result, they were considered somewhat exotic in addition to being relatively scarce and more costly to buy. Of course, it's also traditional to decorate oranges and other citrus fruits with cloves, which smells amazing. These are known as pomander balls, and they have a long history, likely originating in medieval times. Back then, they were used as a personal perfume, a safeguard from evil smells and sickness, and a religious keepsake. Pomander balls were a popular colonial American tradition and were also widely used in Victorian times. I made pomander balls last year. I placed the cloves in different patterns and enjoyed making fun designs. I also discovered that my naughty kitties don't like the smell and tend to leave them alone, so that's a plus. This year, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos and Pinterest boards recreating a Little Women-inspired Christmas, and oranges have definitely been a staple in this look. In addition to hanging them on Christmas trees, I've seen influencers make them into garlands, add them to wreaths, and tie them to gifts as a pretty accent. Dried oranges are also beautiful as part of table decor, especially when laid out with some greenery. So many good ideas for such a humble fruit. I am here for it. While we're waiting for the citrus to dry in the oven, it's time to decorate the hutch. So I'm going to use a lot of pieces from Johnson Brothers Friendly Village, but you'll see that these pieces all have damage on them. And for that reason, they're not good enough to sell. This had all come out of a big Facebook Marketplace order that I had picked up. And I still think these plates are beautiful, even if they're not perfect. Again, not good enough to sell, but good enough to decorate with in my own hutch. And I think once they're all arranged, you're never even going to notice it. So I'm not really sure how this is all going to come together. I haven't given it a lot of forethought. I figured I would just do some trial and error and see what seems to work for me. So we're just going to give it a go. I'm trying the plates in a few different kinds of arrangements. I don't know if I like the 3 dinner plates all in a row. They might need to be broken up like with this platter. This is a really beautiful platter and not that wintry if I'm honest, but it goes with the other Johnson Brother pieces. You can see it's a sad friend. It's got a little chip there. So I'm gonna try that in the middle and see how I like that. I do think that's better than the 3 dinner plates together. Here is some museum wax. So once I get everything in the exact place I want it, I'm going to use this museum wax to keep it secure in the hutch. So I take this little square wooden piece and I scrape on some wax. And you can see that it just comes up like this sort of little ball, and it's very moldable. So I get it exactly where I want it to keep my items secure. And this is great because then if the cats smack at anything, they don't go flying and then they get bored and it's not a fun game. So this has been a lifesaver for me. Now I'm going to add a few things to the top of the hutch. I have some of these canisters that were my grandmother's. I think I'm going to keep my copper kettle up on top. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here in the bottom shelf. I like this scale. I think I can make it work, especially because it's whitish. I'm going to use these books in the corners just for a little color and interest. You can see they were once red and now they're almost more like a pink, but it actually pulls really good colors from the Johnson Brothers plates. So I think these will work. And it sort of warms up the space, brings in a different element, something other than just china. And I always like the way that comes out. So you could also, if you're decorating a space like this, you could also use green books. Green books would be lovely. Anything sort of ivory or creamy color would be nice. I'm enjoying this sort of pinkish red today. And I'm going to make sure they're pretty well dispersed and in some different directions. Again, my goal is to make this look kind of interesting, not too stuffy, just something fun and holiday-ish. The key is to prevent it from getting too busy. I want it to be filled out, but not hectic looking. I'm liking these teacups here. That's kind of working for me. And now I'm putting the scale on the middle shelf. I think that might be a better place for it. Yeah, I'm liking that. This little picture is adorable. I'm gonna try these bottle brush trees. I'm not sure if they're gonna work or not. That might be that like bridge too far in terms of too much going on visually, but no harm in giving it a try, right? The orange slices are done. Look at the old one versus the new ones. You can see that it was definitely a good choice to redo them. I like the way they came out. Here is my finished hutch, and it is more simplistic than I thought it would turn out to be, but it ends up that this holiday season, I'm actually finding I don't want things too cluttered and crazy. I'm liking a little bit more simplicity, and this is really suiting me very well. So you can see I used all the Johnson Brother Friendly Village pieces that are too damaged to sell, but I am enjoying them here. I tied some red ribbons around the canister and the scale just to make them look a little bit more festive. I put in some red books. I popped in some vintage postcards that my friend Susan gave me that I love. They're all poked in here. They're also on my mantle. So my mantle's looking a little different. I had originally hung stockings here, and you know what? It was too much. It was too much chaos. I couldn't deal with it, so I took them down because it was actually just feeling very busy and overwhelming to me. So now I just have this pretty garland. Now I could swoop this across the mantle, but if I did that, the cats would never leave it alone. It's so much safer just to do it this way and not tempt them quite so much. So this is working well for me right now. Here is my kitchen Christmas tree now that I have all of the dried fruit up. It's amazing to me how much color and interest the dried fruit brings. I think it's really, really beautiful and makes a nice difference. I'm so glad I didn't use the old fruit that was so dried out and darkened. I'm so glad I used new fruit and took the time to dry it again so I could have the wonderful color that I was really looking for. I think this is beautiful. I love having a pencil tree in here. It's not too much. It fits really well. And I think it gives a nice festive look for the holidays. Here's a very small touch, and boy, does this door need to be painted, but I have these bells just hanging on the door so they give a little jingle when we come and go. We just have a little bit of faux greenery here with berries and pine cones, and I've tied a little velvet ribbon. Just a little something to make us feel festive. I'm so excited because look what came in the mail. My cards for the holidays. I'm so excited. And my only regret, I love how this looks. I wish I had said Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, because I have a lot of friends who don't celebrate Christmas and celebrate other things instead. But I took this image, I had taken this picture of Indian Iris a while ago, and a viewer put this velvet curtain behind it for me, which I thought looked so elegant. And then I put the whole thing into the Shutterfly template. And the template already said Merry Christmas, and honestly, I was so tired and rushing a little, I didn't stop to think about that. So if you're watching this channel and you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, something else altogether. I just hope you're enjoying it with friends and family, doing the things that you love best. So my next move after I finish editing my video is going to be to address these. Fortunately, my envelopes are already pre-addressed with my return address, so that's one less thing. And here's the back of the cards. I really like this pretty pattern. So yeah, that's what's next up. I think this is so sweet. This is how I start my day every day, in case you're curious about that. I wake up and I have coffee in bed until I'm ready to face the day. And these two cutie pies join me on the bed. And then, of course, my girl Licorice is right next to the bed on her bed. And I wish Wilson could also join us, but he no longer goes up the stairs at all. So he's downstairs. I'll see him later. But right now we are all just chilling out. And as usual, I'm watching the Chateau Diaries on YouTube. This is pretty much always my start to the day. Once I get ready to take a shower, I still have friends joining me, including this crazy girl. What's interesting about these cats is they really like the water. It doesn't bother them at all. And Iris loves to play with the shower curtain and jump in the tub. So we need a little cat extraction here. Here she is, popping up in the shower. And of course, as I get out of the shower, she's the first thing waiting for me. I'll excuse all of the debris, but I wanted to show you Indy lying in the middle of it. And this crazy girl. These are my morning friends. This video will be posting on Friday morning at 6 a.m. So I'm hoping that some people will have a chance to take advantage of this amazing sale at Quality Consignments in Colchester, where my booth is, because it's going to be 20% off, as well as light refreshments served. I think it will be so much fun. I wish I could make it. I can't, But I have been restocking my booth with the hope that I can get ready and have some good things for people who want to buy stuff for the holiday season. So let me show you my last effort at restocking the booth. Here's my booth space as I just arrived. Eric was actually here 2 days earlier, just kind of fluffing things up a little, but I've brought all of these boxes with me so I can add to the inventory and try to plug in any holes because a few more things have been purchased since Eric was here. I'm still new to figuring out what's the balance between full shelves and things that are just too visually hectic. It's a fine line. Here's my finished result. I think it looks definitely more full and hopefully more enticing. I've added just a few more things, and actually right after I finished, somebody bought the antique sled that was in the corner, so now the left corner looks a little bit bare. I wish I had something to fill that space a little bit better, but I'll definitely take care of that the next time. Check out that child's vintage typewriter. Isn't that so cute? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like, please subscribe if you haven't already. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.